Welcome back to another episode of Essentially Heroes. Yeah, today we have a team assembled, you know. We have my usual podcasting partner, Johnny Ferris.
What up, folks? Happy to be here, live in the flesh, in video Zoom, and for the first time with Alejandro. What's up?
Yes. What's up, Johnny? It's a pleasure to work with you, my friend.
Likewise.
Yes, my reaction video crew member, and we're it's a crossover, man.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Two different states.
WandaVision was that special. Was that special. So
yeah, had to unite the mediums.
Absolutely.
Yes. So yes, today we will be covering episode 8 and 9 of WandaVision, pretty much the series finale, and giving our thoughts, our opinions, and what we foresee with the MCU going forward. But before we jump into that today, as usual, we're gonna give a shout out to our sponsor.
Yes, thank you to Class & Co. Co-working space located they've got 2 locations in Brooklyn, one in Greenpoint and one in Williamsburg. Check them out at classandco.com. They've got they fulfill all your event needs. They've also got co-working space that is aesthetically pleasing and accessible in 2 different locations. Once again, Greenpoint and Williamsburg. Williamsburg just off of the Graham Avenue stop and L train, and Greenpoint on Manhattan Avenue. So once again, check them out at classandco.com. Thank you to Class & Co.
Thank you
to Class & Co. It's been a long and wonderful, actually not a long ride, but a very wonderful ride. It's been an amazing 9 weeks, and and I feel like that we're definitely in a different place than we were before for a few reasons that we'll get into. And so I'm just gonna start by saying that, it's been a while since we've had like a Marvel anything really. Like I'm pretty sure the last thing we had was Spider-Man Far From Home. Was that it?
Yeah, that was pretty much the last thing we had.
Yes,
right.
And that was 2019, or was that early?
That was 2019. That was
20. That was 2019. Yeah.
It was Thanos. Thanos dies, and then Spider-Man. Yeah.
And we were still digesting. The ending of everything. So even watching Spider-Man, that movie was all really hazy, almost. In the whole scope of the MCU.
Yeah, our mind we were still like sort of. It didn't all feel quite real yet, but
yeah.
but yeah. So after one very long and dry year later, here we are at WandaVision, and it's been a pretty divisive show, I think, up to the bitter end, and and I also have like a number of thoughts, and I'm sure that you guys have thoughts on it as well. But I do want to actually start with the pros that I found in the series, because there are a lot of pros that are very evident in the show. So sure. I just want to start the conversation off with that.
It's that time, by the way, EK.
Oh yeah. We do a brew pop. I actually should have grabbed like a White Claw or something, but I totally forgot.
It's not. Well, I gave up alcohol for Lent, so this is ginger beer, in fact.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Keeping it clean.
Respect.
That's right. I got espresso here, beer. Usually though. Yeah, but.
Okay, so
hit us
right
with
off
the pros.
The bat, yes. So the first pro is that I liked how like big and exciting the climax felt, And you know, it goes back to what I was saying before. Like, we haven't had like that big Marvel moment, and the Marvel moment always hits. Like, when, you know, the characters are there, they are the characters, and, you know, they're taking care of business. And so, you know, despite the show itself being like very different from your usual standard Marvel fare, I think it's really, I think like the climax, you know, the fights, you know, and you know, all the revelations were very well done. Like,
it was an MCU show through and through.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, very much so. And it's like, it didn't really have to rely on those things, so it felt like they really hit at the end. Like, you're like, oh, this is the climax, you know. So I thought that was really cool, and it looked like they had a pretty solid budget too. Like, they had some solid effects going on there. Like, they definitely put some money behind this, like way more than they put behind the Netflix shows.
Oh yeah, no, because Kevin Feige mentioned that these shows are expensive to make, and it's like,
oh yeah,
we see.
Like, I'm pretty sure like just getting the actors on board like costs enough, and so like anything else, you know, that's just, you know, flourishing. At that point.
Two visions, double vision.
Oh
yes. Yeah, Paul Bettany getting to work with his favorite actor.
Exactly.
Which yeah, I genuinely thought that was funny. I know some people were mad about that, but I genuinely thought it was funny.
Having two visions.
Yeah, well, the thing where Paul Bettany was like, I get to work with my favorite actor in this scene, and he was talking about himself. Yeah, like people, like, yeah, that blew up. That's but crazy. He was just playing around, crazy. And some people took it personal, but I thought it was funny.
If actors can't be douchebags anymore, at least they can act like them, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's nice to feel that a little bit every so often.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, the other thing that was great about this is that, you know, this was where we got like the real feeling of like expanding the MCU, and it happens a little bit in every you know, piece of media, I think. But this is where they like really started to like broaden the horizons. So we see different parts of the universe that we haven't seen before. You know, starting with like Agatha's backstory, because you know, we knew that like magic was a big deal in the MCU, but
we didn't know much about it outside of Doctor Strange. So.
Right. So we got that like magic reintroduction to magic in the universe.
So they were growing in magic. They're growing in multi-dimensionals because they're introducing multi-realities, which they somewhat introduced this season. And they're also growing space-wise, because even with Rambo's background, with her going up, so they're bringing us more to outer space somewhat. So there was a lot of things that they opened up. Very little, but well done, I feel like, because it didn't feel like it was too much.
Right.
Like I'm talking about it now. I'm like, crap, that sounds like a lot. But the way it was done, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't too much. So I think that's a huge pro in itself. You know.
Yeah, it's a window. They offer a nice window into right into what's to come.
Yeah, and I'm a huge like Marvel comic fan. Well, I don't know like everything, but mutants and X-Men specifically is like, I'm a huge nerd for that. And I was like, I have to. I said to Tatian, I'm noticing so many things that they're doing in here. Like, I gotta talk about it. I need therapy.
Sure.
you catch all the cues that they're doing, and it's like,
that's right. EK tells me you're our comic expert, which is good. That's what we need.
Yeah, well, at least when it comes to when it comes to Marvel and X-Men,
right? The mutant world.
That's the mutant world. That's more in you.
That's why I brought Age of Apocalypse over here.
I saw that, which was really good. And I was saying to I said one of my favorite elements of this show, which I would say is a huge pro, is because like there was a lot of people that were complaining, like none of everything that I'm like happening it doesn't happen like this, it doesn't happen like this in the comics, it's not like that, and I'm like, you got to understand how multi-realities work. The MCU is a reality within the multi-realities that is within Marvel.
Right.
You know, so the rules aren't going to be the same. But the directors and Kevin Feige, all these people, they pay attention to the comics. And one of my favorite elements about the show is, so if there's anything I'm a huge fan of, I'll say this, is psychic mutants. So if it's a psychic mutant, I'm just nerding out about. And what this show really captured was the downfall of a psychic mutant. Like, this is what psychic mutants do. They break down, they go to some part of a town, and they bend the reality around it. Several mutants have done it. You know, Jean Grey has done it. Nate Grey has, done it. All these psychic mutants have done something similar to this. You know, everyone that's in that town, they have no memory of their past lives. It is a new reality within itself. And this show done a perfect job of just executing how that works. And that's why I was just nerding out so much on this. I was like, oh my God, because that's how it is. When a psychic, powerful mutant who could bend reality is fucked up in the head, this is what they do. And I thought it was done so well. You know?
It's a great analogy. You're right. Jean Grey in X-Men 3.
Yeah.
She goes back to the house. It's the same sort of thing.
Back to life in Phoenix Resurrection, she made a whole town after her childhood. And they were like, what is going on? So several mutants have done this, which is why I feel like a lot of people were like, mutants, you know, because this is a mutant trope. This whole show is a huge mutant trope. So I think that's why a lot of people were like expecting.
Including Vision. Not just Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, no, true.
Yeah,
that is very true. So it was a lot.
Yeah, and yeah, like speaking of, you know, Wanda and Vision, like the other thing that, like, to go off of what you were saying was that they're just done so well here. Like, I don't think we've gotten, like, in terms of like big screen, like this is the best they've been. Yeah, this is the best they've been represented, and this is the best character wise that they've been able to develop. And I mean, not really to say that they were bad characters before, but they just didn't really have the space to like show who they were or like what they could really do. So
I think Vision. I think in Ultron, Vision got his due. No,
to a degree. But they didn't delve into like what, like the Mind Stone at all, really.
Yeah,
right.
Like it was kind of just
a
device.
His degree even more.
Yeah, and like, and then like just in terms of like how he tackles situations. So like you know, I mean, actually we did see this in Ultron. Like he does enjoy like actually having a conversation, you know, aside from, you know, fighting. And so, you know, when he fought the White Vision, you know, they fought, but the battle ended with a philosophy debate in a library. And I thought that is so Vision.
I thought that was so well done.
Agreed.
You know, when it became a fight about philosophies instead of this all out, like, you know, cyborg, you know, going wild fight. It was really just a fight about philosophies, and I really appreciated that on Vision's part.
That's what Vision does. That's one of my favorite things about him. He has, I mean, for lack of a better word, he's calm. But he's got vision. He poses the question. It's chess with him. He's not just. You're right. He's not just a cyborg that can phase through walls. Shoot laser beams out of his eyes. He actually says he's continuing along this path, this journey of who he is. Who am I? What am I doing here? Am I human? Am I an android? Am I a robot? Like what? Where everything I do comes from Tony Stark, from his vision, from a little bit of from Ultron in the cartoons,
Yeah.
and then he puts that up to somebody else. Like, why are you here? What are you doing? You know, like, do you really want to do this? Actually, it in the cartoon Earth's Mightiest Heroes, if you're familiar with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the opening, same thing. He's operating at the behest of Ultron, and he's taken on the Avengers, and then the Avengers keep fighting him, and he's like, why? You're gonna lose. Why are you fighting? Mm-hmm. Like, what? Why? There's something more to. There's more to just this fight. You know, I love it about him. Well,
no, very critical thinking, and they really executed that pretty well in the show as well. Even when he would have in episode 8 when he had the little heart to heart with Wanda. I know a lot of people were watching. I'm like, we don't have to watch it, just get it on. But that was Vision at his best, and I really you know, being that person to really give you to ground you, you know. And I thought that was actually one of my favorite scenes in episode 8. You know, despite all the other craziness that was happening, it's probably one of my favorite scenes throughout the whole show because it was just so real and authentic and yet crazy at the same time because he is a cyborg, you know. So but it was really well done. I thought they really worked Vision's character out pretty well, you know, and it's good to know he's out there. It's good to know he's out there because I was thinking. I do not want to see Vision die for a third damn time.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we really gonna watch Vision die a third fucking time? I am.
You mean Vision 2 is out there or whatever? White Vision, the other Vision.
No,
but that's the actual Vision though.
I would like
because that's his body.
Vision now.
Yeah,
that's his body, and so I guess at that point, before
and then Vision like reimplanted his memories into that body.
So
that technically
is
Vision.
Oh, so it's Deja Vu. It's the movie Deja Vu. If you guys have seen it.
Yeah, no, it is the movie Deja Vu.
Denzel Washington, right?
Yeah,
he faces
yep.
like, and they introduces himself to his new girlfriend.
That's exactly what it is. So,
wow,
you know,
that's amazing. All right, you know, I didn't realize that. Very cool.
He's just flying out there, you know,
ready
to return, I guess.
So Wanda's going to meet that
we'll
Vision.
See him again.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's right, and he's got those memories of Wanda rolling around in there. It's not just.
And I'm pretty sure Vision also transferred the memories of everything he's been through up to that point as well. So
interesting.
Yes,
it is.
And the movie, and the movie Oblivion. I'm sorry to cut you off, EK. Oblivion with Tom Cruise, if you've seen it.
Yeah,
Oblivion is the same. Oblivion is it's similar to Deja Vu, but instead of Denzel's detective character time traveling, you've got Tom Cruise being the super soldier protecting a post-apocalyptic Earth. But he's like the best super soldier. So what post-apocalyptic Earth did was create 1,000 Tom Cruise soldiers. So his love interest is married to him. She doesn't realize that, and then you watch the whole movie, and you get to the point where he sacrifices himself for one of his other future 1,000 soldiers.
That's pretty much what he did. Yeah, I mean, in a way.
Right.
I mean, he didn't really sacrifice himself because he was going to die anyway.
He knew it. Yeah.
It wasn't badly done. It was very Disney-like when they let off, you know, with Wanda kissing him and him disappearing. It's like,
how'd you guys feel about that? Were you guys convinced in that moment? Or was the sadness and the loss there? I know. To give it one example, you can't equate it to the loss of Tony Stark after 20 movies, right? 10 years of him in our lives, but in that moment, did you? I don't know. I felt like I wanted more.
I would say that for me, so throughout the series, like we've been seeing more of Wanda, and they've been sort of reminding us of who she is and what she's been through, and especially in episode 8 where they literally like go through her life and they show you the little bits that we didn't see, and then you get to sort of form like a connection to those moments, not as much as with the other characters who have entire movies devoted to them behind them, but I did feel like I did feel like Wanda was giving up a lot. And while, it didn't move me as much as, Tony, dying, I did feel like she had, I did feel for the fact that she like really grew as a person and pretty much overcame all these things that would pretty much destroy anyone else who went through them, or even a fraction of what she went through. So I felt it from that angle.
I put it this way. If you really think of it in terms, when episode 9, well, first I just want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Olsen's acting. I really felt that she did her thing. Episode 8, I felt she had me. Episode 8, I felt like you felt, her grief. We already knew like her grief, like how bad her grief was. Like, damn, she had to do this. She had to do that. So to actually see it, and I thought it was like pretty well executed. I thought that. So I'll give her her brownie points for that for sure. And in episode 9, in regards to like her saying goodbye to her family, it wasn't necessarily like a final goodbye in regards to Tony Stark. Like Tony Stark, we're saying goodbye to him for good. I think that was her necessarily coming to a realization of what she is and what she has to do. So it's not necessarily like a goodbye in this sad thing. It's more like, I got to pick myself up and really, this is the come up after the mental breakdown. So it's not going to be it's going to be more of ambitious more than sorrow. But I felt it, that line she said to her kids, like, thank you for choosing me to be your mother. That hit me in the soul.
I guess that's what it is. It's I mean, the entire series comes from her having this, realizing this grief of a vision. She goes to the house that he had set up for her. It's seeing the future, and then boom, like you said, psychic episode creates Westview, the whole thing. Yeah. In that moment, it's not just, she didn't have a family at that point. Now she's got the 2 kids, she's got Vision, and they're gone. Like, I don't have children, but I know that is next level of a family when you're losing that, or at the risk of losing that. And I felt like, I don't know, should drop to her knees, more tears. I don't know. Like, it reminds me of that we talked about it in EK and I got into this a few podcast episodes previously when it was that Justice League episode. I was just trying to look it up. The cartoon episode where Superman has the parasite on his face, and EK, you knew the name of that villain, whatever that thing was.
Starro.
Yeah, Starro. Right. And in that episode, he creates a whole family, and he's got a son, and he's got to look at his son and say, "You are not real. Like, this whole thing is not real. It's brutal." Like, it made me cry. Like, I was like, "Oh shit."
No, that makes sense. No, I definitely believe you on that part.
Yeah. Listen, I loved it, but yeah, and just in that moment, I think in a movie, if this was done cinematic level, then that might have happened. There might have been more of grief, and maybe she would have flown away right there, but not faced the town afterwards, which was great. Which is interesting that she takes that walk, and then faces the town.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, I don't know if we're gonna get into the post-credit scenes, but she's looking for them, and I'm pretty sure we'll see them again. I'm pretty sure we're going to see them again. I don't think that's the last we've seen of her, her boys, and it's definitely not the last we've seen of Vision. So she's mad at her doing all that extra. She's like, damn, oh here y'all.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Like we're gonna see all of them again, and they're gonna like reconvene and like re-explore what happened emotionally. But just to like jump back to what you were saying before, like I also did like how she had to face the town, and there wasn't like a forgiveness really, or like a letting her off the hook. Like she fully has to take responsibility for her actions. Not necessarily in the way of like going to jail, because like she's not gonna let that happen, but she has to pretty much live with what she's done.
She did. Yeah.
And go.
Well, I mean,
forward
she
with
is a
that.
fugitive now, I'm assuming, right? I mean, this is like Cap post Civil War, right?
Yeah. I mean, before, they'd pretty much left that as water under the bridge after she helped save the universe. But at this point, she's going back to like sort of fugitive, or I guess like anti-hero status in the eyes
That's
of the
exactly
public.
how she is in the comics too.
Exactly. So they're bringing it to where we are in the comics.
Yeah, just by herself, recovering from the catastrophes that she's caused. They're still healing from it. Like the mutant population still to this day in the comics have not healed from Wanda Maximoff's doing. Right.
She's two mutants. Like she's two mutants. Like what Thanos was to humanity. Like to everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
At one point, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it really just makes sense. That scene of her just flying off from the town, like just being dolo.
So I do want to move on to the cons, and there are a handful of cons that I have, and I think like 60-something% of Marvel fans had with the show, but
I'm just gonna
we're gonna run through.
We're the cons. We're the cons. Us fans who came up with these crazy ass theories, gassing each other up. We the cons. That's cons number one.
Yeah, that was but so let me start off by saying so the first con that stood out to me, I guess more specifically in the finale, because this is where it becomes apparent, but the villains of the series, which take the form of both Agatha and Hayward, pretty much. And as the villains of the series, they didn't really, they didn't really push the bar like other more recent villains that we've been getting have been doing. So like, for example, like Mysterio, Vulture, Thanos, Killmonger, like we've been getting some pretty good villains, really. And yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to like change, like revolutionize, but yeah, they kind of took it back to like classic Marvel, like the villain wants A, and that's more or less all that you get from them. And so that was that kind of stood out to me in the show, where all the other characters are so well written.
No, I mean, I will say this. I personally thought Agatha being a villain was actually pretty good. I thought Agatha as a villain was pretty good. I don't think she is the end-all be-all, though. And I'm also happy they didn't get rid of her. Right. I like the fact that her thing was just a curiosity for magic. Like she wanted to know what was Wanda's secret, and she still didn't give away all her beads, where she gets her magic from. So that could still lead to something. Where that book came from. So I feel like there was a lot that was left to Agatha to be explored, and I like that, because most villains are killed, which I think could do the MCU a hindrance. But she wasn't killed; she's still around. So,
is that book the book that you referenced, EK? That was in that you claimed you read that she stole from the Sorcerer Supreme Library, whatever it's called.
We don't really know if she stole it.
Possibly, okay.
We don't know if it's still a mystery as to how she got that book. That is the mystery in itself.
You think they loaned it out to her? You think it's still on? Like she owes it. She's got back fees on it or something like that. That's it. So she's overdue. It's overdue.
Like we were talking before. It was in one of the previous episodes. So in the Library of Camartage, which is where Doctor Strange studied to be a sorcerer, they have the library that Wong protects. and they have the wall of books that's in there, like the special books. And I'm pretty sure I saw this via I think Screen Crush brought it up, but there is a book missing on that rack. And so I was wondering if the Darkhold was that book.
Doctor Strange does this kind of stuff, like take the book.
That's very interesting. I mean, we're definitely going to find out in Doctor Strange. I feel like we're going to find out for sure what that book is. But I personally thought that was pretty good. So I feel like they left Agatha with mystery. They still left her around. And I thought she made a badass villain. I will call her a pseudo-villain. Because I don't really believe she... Like, maybe in this series, she's still a villain. But I don't think she'll be a villain in the grand scope of MCU. Which I'm pretty cool with because, like I said, Agatha Harkness is... She taught Wanda everything she knows. Yeah. You know, so, I was really excited when Wanda beat her, and Wanda was just like, thank you for that lesson with the runes. And I was like, exactly. And it's like, you know, and Agatha said to her, you're going to need me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and I'll know just where to find you. Bop. And I'm like, you know what? I thought that was a nice little bow wrap to that, you know, because
Go ahead, sorry, Alejandro.
No, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to ask if I like it. I agree with you. I was going to say I didn't know if Etienne had someone else in mind. I was curious if someone would have fit.
Yeah, no, because that's why I thought it worked, you know. And now she's gonna pop up again when Wanda really needs her, and she's there in her little prison, her little personal hex, and you know, and like I said, she's one of the most powerful sorcerers in the comics. Like, she's been, I don't know if they made her this beast in the MCU based on her background, but in the comics, she's more than 5,000 years old. Like, she was,
that's cool.
Like, yeah, so, you know, she even recalls seeing Atlantis go undersea. Like, that's how old she is. So I don't know if they're going to go that route with her, but, you know, that's why I thought it was cool that she stuck around. Because when it comes to Wanda and Wanda's powers, she is important like that.
Right.
This is true. Yeah, I can agree with that. And I think they're definitely going to come back to her, and Wanda's going to be like, teach me this.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know this. Yeah, how do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
And,
or she's going to come across a page in that book that she'll know the answer to. So, yeah. It's exciting. And I forgot her name, the actor that played her. But
Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn, yep.
Yeah, she did an amazing job. She did so good. So
yeah. I also like how... did you guys know that she plays Doc Ock in Spider-Verse?
Yes, she does. Yeah, I found that out a few days ago too. I was like, look at that.
She gets to play two Marvel villains.
Yeah,
like, cool. Who else, man?
I think a huge con. I will say a huge con on the villain side was Evan Peters' cameo. I thought that was so ass. I was a little tight about that. I was actually a little upset about that. To make him just this random kid, this random actor, like, are y'all fucking serious? Like, y'all really gonna I thought that was them trolling us. That was some troll shit. Like, to not make him, like... I couldn't believe it. I was baffled by that one. I was like, wait, y'all not dead ass right now.
Yeah, that just felt like of all the complaints that I've seen about the series, that's the one that I agree with the most.
That one I definitely agree with. I agree with that one.
Because it just felt so disingenuous to a degree.
I have a question about it, though. Like, I agree with both of you on that, but I'm puzzled. Because didn't he? All right, Evan Peters. All right, the Quicksilver, her brother, comes in for lack of what we know, and I guess he's the series is painting him out to be this random character, this random kid in the town that I guess Agatha bestowed and created a complete deceit. But he was Quicksilver. I mean, he was running around like in the town. Takes the kids and stuff, right?
In the show, they didn't. It wasn't in the show. They didn't make it so. It wasn't like it was like Agatha just took over some kid that looked like him and bewitched him because he was just a normal kid.
Yeah, she
What was
gave
his
him
name? They
a
trolled us.
special
What was his
Ralph-
damn name? It was
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner. Yeah.
Ralph Boner, yeah.
Yeah, serious,
Yeah.
right? That guy.
Yeah.
Which
Also, by the
yeah.
way, also a callback to what I mentioned in one of the episodes, Growing Pains. That was the best friend, Mike Seaver's best friend. His name was Boner. So, I wonder. I'm guessing that's what that was. But like I said, I thought when Quicksilver came back into town, at one point he's zooming around like Quicksilver. It wasn't obviously the X-Men Days of Future Past scene. You're not getting that deep, but you still see him, like, right? I'm like, so does Agatha have the power to? Is she, I guess, screwing with her mind, or is he actually speeding around here? I was like, wait a second.
She gave him a artifact, I believe, because when Monica took off his necklace, he was basically defeated.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I maybe I gotta rewatch the episode when he was first introduced, but I didn't see that necklace on him at all in the other episode. So
Right.
Didn't he have like a chain or something on?
Yeah. So like, was it that necklace the whole time? Like, what the hell was that all about?
Something. Because like when Monica fights him, it's like glowing, and it's like hinting that that's the thing.
Well, I think what's really interesting is if there's anything that it proves, it's that what's her name? Agatha. Agatha's powers have to somewhat involve tapping into different realities. I'm pretty sure maybe in Doctor Strange we'll get into more details about it, but it's weird that she was able to do that.
Right.
I don't know if she just brought Evan Peters there and Wanda subconsciously did that, because that's more on Wanda's power than Agatha's power. I don't see how Agatha could do it, but that's what I'm assuming.
Right.
Because Wanda's a Nexus being. So
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not so convinced that character is just simply another kid in the town. I don't buy it. They're no, I mean Ralph Boner, like Evan Peters, Quicksilver. Excuse me. You know,
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not convinced. Yeah, it's interesting.
No, very interesting. I was a little upset with that one.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they exactly were trying to do with it, because also like just bringing Pietro back into the mix didn't, I think, have that huge of an impact on Wanda in the grand scheme of things. Like for episode 6, the Malcolm in the Middle episode, that's like where the majority of her interactions with him happen. And you know, they talk, you know, and you know, it gets like a little deep between them, but it doesn't like massively push her one way or the other. So even in the context of like the show itself, it didn't really lead to anywhere. And then he ended up just being Agatha's henchman. And then that's where it's left off.
See, and also, I mean, granted, I understand.
I thought that sucked too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even as an actor, right? Let's say like, I mean, we're dealing with humans here, and I get it. It's Marvel, it's Disney. You can't say no to the monster that hey, they're calling. You know, Ryan Reynolds, we know he's in, but anybody else might be out. So all of a sudden, I guess Evan Peters gets the call. What does he do? Does he look at the script and he's like, all right, wait, that's it? I'm out after this? I'm some random dude? I'm sure. No. My guess is the producers, Feige, whoever it is that made that call, is like, no. Mr. Peters, you're going to be here. Don't worry, you're going to come back. You know, I'm like, I can't buy that. He's just some random kid. It's impossible.
It's open now. The doors of multi-universes and stuff, I think that's what this next saga is really about. And I think that's why that was Evan Peters' like part for me personally. Right. At least that's what helped me sleep at night in regards to like that cameo.
My main thing about Hayward wasn't, I guess necessarily like what he wanted, but mainly just his tactics, because like he never like really came at it with a sort of like intelligent plan. Like he kind of just went in guns blazing, like regardless. And he just like really kept poking the bear. Like imagine like walking up to Thor and like pulling a gun on him and being like, "You're gonna listen to me, buddy," and like he would just laugh at you. Like he wouldn't even hurt you. He would just walk away and laugh because like it's like, what are you even gonna do? And then especially in the climax too, like when his entire plan comes to fruition, like with White Vision and you know, him actually showing up as well. Like, yeah, he brings out White Vision, sends him in to get Wanda, which yeah, I kind of think it's funny how his entire like long process with White Vision just amounted to him being like, no, I'm not gonna do anything else, and then flying away. like White Vision did, like, so that means he had no way to control White Vision either. So he has this weapon that was created to end the world, reanimated, that he has no way of actually controlling. And then also, like, right, yeah, and then he shows up with like more guns to fight a woman who literally like a few days ago turned all his soldiers on him with like no other plan besides just pissing her off. So I was like, what, dude, what's your deal? Like, do you actually have a plan, or are you just gonna keep like trying to kill her until she finally stops playing with you and kills you, dude? And like if it wasn't Wanda, like he would have gotten so many people killed. Like that, so that was my main gripe with Hayward, is that, and he even like admits it in like episode 4 where Monica's like, I'm sure you were the best guy for the job, and he's like, I'm the only guy for the job. And like, so basically he's saying that he's not qualified for his job. They just chose him because everyone else was dead. So I just thought it was crazy how the show just like kept dunking on him over and over again by just not giving him anything like really intelligent to do as the leader of Sword.
And he even went as far as to empty the whole load on children. And a lot of people are talking like, "Oh my god, you really did that! Like that is so low! Oh my god!" But you know what I said? I was like, that's how it is in the comics. Like they don't care about when you're a mutant.
I mean, to him, technically, they're not children; they're fake, but still.
The mutants. I mean, the question towards Alejandro: Where do you want to see? I mean, both of you. Where do you want to see it go? Where do you want to see Wanda go from here? And do you? Are we in agreement? I mean, my guess, like I said, I want them. I can't wait for them. I'd love for it to be a merger, but I don't know if that's what's going to be. That's how it's going to come. But I'm curious. Where do you want to see this? Where do you want to see her go? Where do you want to see the road go from here?
You know, a lot of people were upset that mutants or were not as mentioned. I personally like this game that they're playing with us. I like that they're giving us little trinkets of them, teasing us a little bit. The mutants, it's big. This is not something that they're going to just be able to throw at us.
Sure.
You know, this is not like, oh, here they are. So I definitely understand. In regards to Wanda, unfortunately in the comics anymore, Wanda's no longer a mutant. She's been recoined, which I'm still upset about. I would like it to be so that I was hoping in the series that they were going to somewhat hint to her not being a mutant, and that was me overthinking and over hypothesizing and stuff like that. But I don't think they're gonna go that way. I don't see Wanda ever being recoined to be a mutant again. So in regards,
but the movies are gonna do whatever they want, though.
Oh yeah,
especially with her. I mean, she's an anchor now.
No, she is.
Yep.
No, she is. And I mean, Wanda's a very exciting character because she's one of those characters that can literally do anything. So, you know, I'm really excited to see what she's really going to like bust out and do in, you know, Doctor Strange, part 2, Multiverse of Madness. I'm really curious as to see what she's going to do because being a Nexus being, she can pull from every single reality. And that is, she could pull magic from every single reality. And that is something that not even Doctor Strange can do. Because Doctor Strange isn't a Nexus being. What it means to be a Nexus being is that a version of yourself is in every single reality. So no matter what reality you go to, you are going to find a Scarlet Witch. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in regards to that. With mutants, I was actually talking. I was like, I wouldn't mind if they did a Dawn of X mutant thing.
Dawn of X is is in the last like 2 years, right? 3 years, something like that.
Dawn of X came out last year.
It was last year. Okay, and that's what Hickman. Yeah, I read an article that was pointing to specifically like comics have been stale for years. Read Hickman. Like this guy was like, you got to get into Dawn of X. Yeah,
fans out there,
right.
Read Dawn of X,
Powers
of X, and House of X. It's amazing where the X-Men are at, where Mutantdom are at in the comics now. It's just so incredible, so amazing. So I wouldn't mind if they brought X-Men in like that. Currently in the comics, all the mutants, most of the mutants, they got their own nation, and this is the most successful that it's been. We all know what happened. We all know what happens when mutants make their own nation. Okay.
I don't see them like going back into her backstory again and then saying like, oh, she was a mutant, and then like this and that, because they've like gone full in on she's a witch. She's the Scarlet Witch, and the Scarlet Witch is this prophesized being.
Yeah.
And so like that's what she is. And for at least for me personally, that's fine, because I don't think that, and this was one thing that a lot of people wanted from the show. Like they wanted this to be like the X-Men show. Like they wanted this to be like the mutant show.
Yeah, because some people don't know that she's not a mutant anymore. There's a lot of people that don't know that.
Right, and I mean, just because of the fact that I guess they were like, oh well, now Marvel has the X-Men back, so obviously they're gonna like just immediately throw them into everything.
Yeah,
and like that's not really what I guess that's not really what they were like doing with this show. And I mean, it was never even really, I guess hinted that they were like trying to do that with the show, aside from the Evan Peters thing. But I would say that I'm also fine, kind of playing the long game for right now, because like the X-Men are like such a like important thing. I wouldn't want them to be sort of just like a side part of somebody else's story. Like I want them to have their own thing. And so just in terms of like WandaVision, like I'm glad that it had like a very focused approach to the MCU. It's like, well, we're telling these
instead of getting
story.
Mutants, we got witches.
Yeah, which makes sense because we're going into Doctor Strange too. But I like that they kept the story like just as its own thing, because like a lot of like we've seen like different movies where there's one in particular I can think of where it's not really its own thing, it just exists to set something else. Like with like for example, Batman versus Superman, like that movie, like for a lot of the runtime, like it's not even really telling a story so much as just setting up other DC movies. So like, they throw in Flashpoint, they throw in Aquaman, they throw in Wonder Woman, they throw in, they throw in all these different elements, and they spend a lot of time telling a story that's not happening currently. So it's like, well, yeah, unless I know the comics, I don't really care. So so that's why I'm glad they didn't like really oversaturate WandaVision with a lot of like different spin-off potential and like sequels and
no, they did
all that.
Just
like
enough.
It's just its own thing.
He did just enough.
Yeah, you can't compare. Unfortunately, I hate that about what DC did with Batman vs Superman. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
storyline. Yeah, the story by EK and I go at this all the time. I'm a fan. I agree that you didn't need to build what they were trying to build with it. Focus on the story between Bat versus Superman. It's an amazing story unto itself. And they're following the footsteps of Marvel there. But do you guys know? I'm assuming you know where Harkness first appeared. I didn't know this. I just looked it up. I was curious. Do you know the comic that
she appered as
in what comic book? In what line?
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's interesting.
As this dude's nanny.
Right.
Franklin.
So when she
old school.
Yeah. When she said
1970.
I actually been a kid before, I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
When she said, she was like, I actually been a kid before. And I'm like, is she talking about Franklin Richards? I was geeking out.
That's cool. That's good. That's great that you know that. I mean, like, that's it. That's an interesting connection, by the way. I mean, if we know Marvel wants they want to ride that train, and I'm a believer. I mean, we've gotten in. Etienne and I have gotten into this in podcasts. The void of Tony Stark, Peter Parker is not going to fill it. He's not the guy. The Marvel, as far as I'm concerned, needs a new brain, and I'm pulling for Reed Richards. But
even to this day, even though Wanda has been recoined to not be a mutant, her kids are still mutant to this day. So I also just want to pinpoint that, she's trying to get her kids back. I would assume the next time we would see them in this world, in the MCU, there'll be
a connection. Yeah.
In the world when we see them again.
Who knows? Maybe that will be something that they go over in Doctor Strange too. Like maybe they're in, I don't know, hell, or maybe they're somewhere else. And then, Doctor Strange is like, all right, I'll help you get him back, but then you have to help me do this or something to that effect. So they might be back sooner than we think.
But they're not just going to drop a bomb. All right. Mm-hmm. Mutants have been around for the longest time. They've just been hidden away. They've been planning something to happen. I mean, to be fair, they kind of did it with Wakanda. I mean, there were hints about it, and then all of a sudden, there's this super awesome land that's the smartest, like the most technologically advanced land. They don't have Starbucks yet, but they're beating us on everything. So they're there, and we didn't know about them for all these movies. I don't think that they're going to jump into mutants all the way, but you've got Wanda, you've got Quicksilver potentially. Their father is number one, like the mutant world's favorite villain, the mutant world's favorite. I mean, and he's not just a villain. He's already been introduced as fighting the fight to save humanity alongside Professor X. He's a best friend of Professor X. Like, they grew up together. The villains. He's a super villain. Like, he's the guy. Like. Yeah, I mean, can Fassbender? Is he too young? I don't know. Like, what they're going to recast? Who knows where they go with it? But I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Wanda meet her father, find out, what is this Scarlet Witch thing? And that she called me, and I'm super awesome, or the most famous sorcerer. Wait, did I pause?
I feel like a lot of people would love to see that. But like I said, in the comics...
Right, and then...
They read it. Like, I mean... Magneto still has love for Wanda, but that's not
of course,
his child.
But at the same time, right? At the same time, Magneto would also say something along the lines of, "Hey, Wanda, listen, I get it, you took over Westview, but there's so much more to you. We are the future. Like, what are you doing here? Let's come on over. And then we see a door, not just a window, a door open up. So I want to see. I want more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a better apocalypse than the movie. Okay, I want this apocalypse. All right, this is the guy. This is the apocalypse I want. I know he's in. I should have. Then the way they did it in the movie was just terrible. So yeah. That's the apocalypse that should be out there. All right, folks. Yeah.
But another thing that I think is interesting, just going back to the fandom, is that I've noticed a very distinct change in the fan discussions online surrounding the show, and I think Marvel in general. And I think what the show did was it ended up burning out fan theorists. So
I'm gonna get an 8 on them. Tell
so
me
like
I'm
usually,
almost done.
people would theorize and be like, oh, well, this might mean this, and make this maybe connects to this, and maybe this is actually this. But then after this show, like that energy is completely gone from most conversations I'm seeing online. And so now whenever I look at like a fan theory post about like, oh, maybe White Vision is going to do this, or maybe like this person is this, because we were talking about Chthon before, like, oh, maybe Chthon's going to show up, and, maybe he's... So, but on all those posts, I'm hearing people just saying, like, I'm tired of fan theories. Like, I don't care, really. Like, why you guys keep, like, theorizing all this stuff? Like, people have, like, done a complete 180 and, like, they hate fan theories now because they've been burned once and they don't want it to happen again.
No, this show really trolled us. They really trolled us on this.
And I think that's so interesting how you change such like a fundamental part of the fandom, because theorizing is such like a fundamental part of like the comic book movie fandom. I think that that's a lasting impact that WandaVision will have on the community. And I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. Like, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, of course. Why can't we theorize? Why can't any fans go ahead and write them? Go on. Or write your new stories if you want. Come up with fan-made trailers.
It's like they can, but nobody cares anymore.
That's what the world is.
No, I think it's fun to have to theorize and stuff like that. I just think we as fans have to remember that these ideas, like, nothing crazy happens, these things that we were all theorizing about, they're very complex things, mutants coming up, Mephisto, Nightmare, like all these crazy theories, they could still work, but there's levels to it. Like, your theory may not even come to fruition for like another 2 movies.
Yeah.
Because like that's how these things work. And like, MCU, like I said, they're very simplistic with their narrative because they build a lot, but it's very simplistically done because there's a build to everything. So for all y'all raging, just keep your patience.
EK, it might be 2 decades before Mojo actually comes into the picture. Right? Maybe one. I don't know.
Okay.
That was my big theory.
It might be on a streaming service that we have no concept of yet. All right, our kids might be watching it.
I mean,
God willing, our kids come up to us.
Yeah, I mean, I was also part of the theory crowd, and so I've also learned a lesson. So I'm also part of that.
That would be amazing if in a film or a TV, one day my future kid comes up and is like, Dad, what's MODOK? Who is MODOK? I'm like, oh, what? MODOK is here? Like, we made it? Oh my God. I'd be so happy.
Right? Seriously, right?
Yeah,
hey,
so
Dad,
true.
what's the Phoenix Force? What?
So yeah, that's any other closing thoughts or anything like that?
I'm looking forward to Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm looking forward to see where the MCU is going to kick off at. For sure.
Yeah, I wonder how that show is going to stack up to this one because I mean, it's obviously going to be like a very much more action oriented show. And yeah, I'm just wondering if it'll be able to do kind of some of the same like character moments that WandaVision was able to do through its like more emotional storytelling. Like I'm that's like one of the main things I'm curious about with Falcon and Winter Soldier, and also Loki as well, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Loki too. I mean, if there's anything that WandaVision proved, it's that MCU, they know how to make a good show. So I'm looking forward to it. That's what I like. That was my closing thoughts. I'm just looking forward to seeing the MCU build TV wise. It's such a great element to have for storytelling and to push movies. So this universe just got a hell of a lot more excited.
Remember, EK, don't I understand your hesitation about what could come from, or if Winter Soldier and Falcon are going to hold a candle, so to speak. But I mean, the Avengers were there long before Ultron, long before Wanda Maximoff, before like sorcery came in. Cap 2 was, to this day, still possibly my top 5 like favorite superhero films of all time. So, and I'm very, very much so looking forward to. I want action. I want espionage. I want James Bond type of stuff. I want Hydra back. So I want the new Captain America. I can't wait to see it. So,
they said it's going to be about maybe 7 episodes, but we're getting awesome. Hour long.
Can't wait.
Maybe 6, but they're going to be about an hour as opposed to the 30 and like 35-minute episodes we were getting of Wanda.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Give me that action. Yeah. I'm in.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. I'm here for it.
I did want to say, when I went back and I was looking at the third time now I'm mentioning Earth's Mightiest Heroes, when he's introduced, the first thing he's doing in that series is breaking into a facility to get adamantium. Before he goes to get vibranium, he's getting adamantium first. And I was like, oh, shit, this is cool. So, I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yet another mutant connection for Vision, not for Wanda.
So, that is that's WandaVision, and yeah, like I said, it was a good ride, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Wasn't perfect, like it wasn't the best thing ever, but also wasn't the worst.
But it's satisfying.
Thing ever. Yeah,
it wasn't. It was. I was satisfied.
And it had the potential to be a lot worse. Also, like it could have been a total mess. It could have been a mess. So just the fact that they kept everything so tight, I really respect them for that. And so yeah, I'm Marvel Phase 4 is going to be very interesting.
Let's do it.
Yes. All right. So that's all we got for you guys today. Alejandro, thanks for joining us.
Anytime, really man. I love talking this geek stuff. Like I said, I needed therapy.
You need to exercise these demons from you.
Yeah, exactly.
It was good. There'll be more to come.
Yes.
Awesome. I'm always here.
And you also have a podcast, don't you?
Yes, I do. I have a podcast. It's podcast about nothing, and it's just about me and my Bronx friends exploring, different aspects of life, trying to make y'all laugh and bless y'all with a little knowledge here and there, trying to change the perspective of what it means to be from the Bronx. So I'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yes, yeah, please do. Any dates, let us know, and we'll be on top of it, or I'll be on top of it. It'll be day one.
Awesome. Johnny, it was a pleasure working with you, man. Pleasure discussing.
Likewise. Let's keep it up. Let's do more. It was good.
For sure.
All right. Yes. Stay tuned, folks. We've got way more to come. We've got more on the DC world also coming soon. And yeah, as the minute, what's next? Well, I know Schneider Cut's coming, but as we mentioned, Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we got to cover that too.
Comment.
We'll be here for it.
Subscribe, y'all. Show us love in the comments.
Absolutely.
Our like, comment, and subscribe officer from the reaction videos is present, so you gotta
ring
make
that
sure.
Bell button, okay, y'all.
Yes, stay up to date with all our updates.
Catch all our content. Episode recordings, trailer reactions, blurred discussions, comics discussions. We all here for it, y'all.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day or night, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thank you, folks.
Peace.
Stay tuned, everyone. All right.